Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. S&amp 500 Index Weekly Forecast Stimulus hopes are keeping the tide from turning. Analysis http ntvforex.com News ID 3139A38232027 05:58 p.m. Wall Street South tide keeps rising steadily and bears are a dying breed. Jackson Hole speech from Fed Chair Powell and NBSP progress on the next U.S. stimulus plan will be watched closely. The S&amp 500 gained on Friday as data pointed to some pockets of strength in the U.S. NBSP economy, and in the week ahead, investor focus NBSP will be on whether policymakers can keep recovery hopes alive. The S&amp 500 clinched a record high last week, recouping the last of its losses caused by the coronavirus-driven slump and joining the Nasdaq in notching new highs. The index NBSP logged a fourth consecutive week of gains, its longest winning streak of the year. Investors are trying to reconcile uneven economic signals with expectations of further stimulus from governments and central banks. Progress on the next U.S. stimulus plan will be watched closely, as will a Jackson Hole speech from Fed Chair Powell on Thursday. For the reflation and declining real yields narrative to keep stocks elevated, the market will want to see NBSP signs that the Fed will keep rates low and is prepared to do more. The July FOMC minutes failed to feed the rally in risk assets, and NBSP investors may not want to chase the recovery too much higher ahead of the NBSP Jackson Hole. NBSP The 2-day Jackson Hole Symposium starts Thursday, and the theme is Navigating the Decade Ahead, Implications for Monetary Policy. The focal point at this event will be an address from Fed Chair Powell on Thursday at 15:00 CET. Yet again, investors will be on the lookout for any indications that the Fed is close to adopting average inflation targeting, and to better understand the conditions that would prompt yield curve control. The focal point at this event will be an address from Fed Chair Powell on Thursday at 15:00 CET. NBSP Meanwhile, NBSP The debate about fresh U.S. stimulus will be a key theme as well. The House approved legislation this weekend to allocate $25 billion to the U.S. Postal Service and ban operational changes that have slowed mail service around the country. Saturday's vote on the U.S. Postal Service could restart negotiations of a slimmed-down stimulus deal, as the House's early return for votes on Saturday disrupted members' August recess plans. The chamber had previously been scheduled to next return for votes in the middle of September. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows tweeted NBSP to Democrats on Saturday, saying, "If you really want to help Americans, how about passing relief for small businesses and unemployment assistance along with postal funding?" As for an update NBSP on U.S.-China relations, the Chinese suggest a review on the Phase 1 deal will be taking place after all. NBSP relations have sunk to all-time lows in recent weeks as the two nations spar over the coronavirus pandemic, Hong Kong, Xinjiang, and technology. U.S. President Donald Trump said last week, "I don't want to talk to China right now," but NBSP Beijing's Commerce Ministry said on the two sides have agreed to talk in coming days. Trump claimed he postponed discussions on the Phase 1 trade deal because he was unhappy with China's handling of the coronavirus. The Trump administration, however, has refused to confirm if the talks have been rescheduled. While neither Beijing nor Washington have NBSP released a date for the talks, which were originally expected to happen around August 15, but an olive branch approach from the Chinese is good news for risk appetite heading into the week. S&amp 500 correction levels. From a technical perspective, the index has exceeded the February 19 record high in NBSP, the fastest bear market recovery in history. The NBSP velocity is the strongest in decades, and the tide is getting harder to fight. Despite a recession, stagnating profits, and the prospect of a messy presidential election, the S&amp 500 is hitting new highs, and this will likely entice NBSP new buyers. On the other hand, however, the coronavirus is a fluid situation, and the skeptics, while a dying breed of late, are lurking and waiting to pounce. The index NBSP has proved highly sensitive to reports of a possible vaccine breakthrough, yet even on the most optimistic assumption, a vaccine will not be widely available until 2021 at the earliest, and the chances of failure are high. In this regard, the downside levels of interest are marked in the following weekly chart: NBSP, 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 NBSP. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.